Two California men arrested this week, charged with conspiring to travel to the Middle East to join ISIS. These arrests, just the latest in which officials have tracked down suspects they believe want to join the terror group. There have been 31 ISIS-related arrests in this country since January, taking place across 9 states. Some wondering if the U.S. is now a terrorist sanctuary. Jim Hanson, Executive Vice President at the Center for Security and former member of the U.S. Army Special Forces, joins me now to weigh in on this. Okay, so in that statement there, we talked about the possibility of the U.S. becoming a sanctuary. And actually, I think the question should be, has it become a recruiting area more so than a sanctuary?
Oh, absolutely, Kelly. I think ISIS has been very active on social media, online websites, in asking people to come join them, asking people all over from Muslim countries in Europe and here in the United States. And they've also got an ally, unfortunately, in that a lot of mosques in the United States are preaching extremism and distributing jihadist literature. So there's a distinct problem with us helping the jihadists find their cannon fodder.
Well, here's another question that we can pose, getting back to that word sanctuary. Is ISIS trying to establish a safe haven in which to operate terror attacks in places like Syria and Iraq, and then now trying to expand it to other areas?
No doubt. I mean, they have a caliphate. They started off with a caliphate in just Iraq and Syria, but they now have operations where Boko Haram has allied themselves and pledged allegiance. They have operations in Pakistan, Afghanistan, Libya. They are spreading all over the world. It's an intercontinental global jihad movement, and they're doing a great job of appearing to be the strong horse and attracting a lot of disaffected youth to join them.
Well, you know, as much as most experts know, that in the Middle East, they really look forward to or look up to the strong man. And in this case, ISIS has become the strong man. So how do you deal with this situation so that young men here in America will understand it's not really strength, it's really weakness because of the way they've chosen to attack people, behead people? It's really crass and it's an atrocity, and it should be stopped. So how do we stop young men here from being so disgruntled and feeling so disenfranchised that they would link up with such a terror group as ISIS?
Well, it's one thing to point out the atrocities they do. It's another to go ahead and remind people that America is a great place, that we do have a civilization and a culture worth preserving, and that the things that are happening in these Islamic states are barbaric and uncivilized. It's a return to the 7th century, and that's not something anybody should be happy to have happen or to look forward to.
Well, Jim, if you look back over history, that was a very hopeless time. And yet here in America, there are people filled with a lot of hope for a better tomorrow and dealing with situations. So what's fueling this desire among these young men to even think or consider that ISIS would be a great thing to do?
Well, like I said, they do have a tremendous outreach program through social media and online means, but the Center for Security Policy commissioned a study of mosques here in the United States, and out of a randomly chosen selection of 100 mosques, 80 of them were either preaching jihadist tactics or were distributing jihadist literature. That's outrageous. Now, we have freedom of religion. We do not have freedom to hide behind religion and preach violence and preach extremism.
Exactly.
That's something that needs to be looked at.
So what should we be doing to challenge those mosques to do the right thing and stop perhaps fomenting this argument that it's okay to have a jihad going on, because that is not right. I mean, we do recognize freedom of speech and freedom of religion, but not that.
Well, I think it needs to get past the Muslim front groups like the Muslim Brotherhood and CARE and these other organizations that call it Islamophobia to even question what is happening in the mosques, to even question the type of literature and the preaching that's going on. It is okay to challenge it when, like the Boston Marathon bombers, a dozen jihadis were all associated with the Islamic Society of Boston. That's something it's fair to look at, and that's not Islamophobia. That's just paying attention.
And you know, they are aggressive. I've been approached by a few people myself, and they are very aggressive in their approach, asking you and challenging you about your faith and things like that. But Jim Hanson, we thank you for weighing in on this issue. Very important topic.
Thanks, Kelly.